What's up, guys? So this video started off as a sort of a fun little spiel, and it turned into something a lot more serious after like the third take. And so I'm doing this from the start again, after my better quality rental camera died on my laptop, and basically the battery died, but I want to do this now because I'm on a roll. So basically, I used to think that YouTube fame was like the best thing ever. You weren't like so unfamous that you were like barely noticed and unknown and it wasn't even a fame. And on the other side of the spectrum, you weren't super famous to the point where you couldn't go anywhere public without being recognized by 99% of the people there, similar to some Hollywood actors or right now Michael Jackson or Justin Bieber. And so I thought it was the perfect amount of fame because from what I've seen, the most famous YouTubers right now with millions of subscribers, they themselves barely get recognized 1 to 3 times per day, even while going to very populated areas. And so I thought it was a perfect type of fame. And on top of that, you could do so much with social networking. You had this huge fan base, so you can get on all those social network things that I would try out, but realized that it was completely useless if you had 0 friends and 0 followers. But with them, like they could get on Twitter or Instagram or Vine and all these things that came out, Facebook at the time, that just came out, and you'd have this fan base where you can just be yourself and express whatever you want. And even if it was very awkward or weird or abnormal or stupid, you would have a fan base that would love it, and you could even do live streams and just be yourself, and they would enjoy it. And then I realized, that wasn't really the case. But at the time, I thought it was great because I was this guy, didn't have too many friends, and obviously did not have a YouTuber fan base, and I would get on all these new things that just were created, like Vine or Instagram or Tumblr or Facebook or Twitter and all these social networking things, and then I'd be like, oh, what's this, Snapchat? I'll try it out. This looks fun. And I'd see everyone at school using these things, and then I realized, oh shoot, I don't really have that many friends. In fact, I don't have friends at all. And yeah, I don't have any sort of YouTube fan base or anything, so looks like I have 0 followers or 0 friends. And it'd just be very pointless. Like, Snapchat without any context is nothing. It's literally like a blank slate. Like, all the pages are blank. You can't do anything on any sort of social network without other people. And so I thought it was like, especially back in the day when I was kind of depressed, I thought this would be awesome to have. That way I can have friends and it'd be great. And at the same time it'd be like, whenever I was bored or I was doing something mundane, I could whip out my phone and I can do this stuff, and it'd pass the time, and at the same time I could, express where I was and maybe take a picture and show that to the world. And then it kind of got changed because of things I'll talk about a little bit later. But the point is, things changed. But at the time, I was thinking, when I was waiting in line or waiting for the dentist to call me in the office, or waiting for my doctor, or just doing something mundane like chores or taking my car to repair, it would be like the perfect time for an Instagram photo. But things change, and I'm going to tell you why. Looking back, I've realized that I've grown, and these things probably might hinder you more than help you. I mean, I did a whole video like a year ago titled Fame is Overrated. That kind of expresses these sort of principles, but this is more on YouTube fame and stuff like that. And that was one of the reasons why I actually started this channel. But now things have changed, and I've realized that, if you're chasing these things to make you happier, you're going to realize that if you get them, they're probably not going to make you happier. And then you're stuck with that. Like, you can't undo fame. And then you're stuck with this crowd of people, and you might not want that. And the thing is, you really don't need, like, tweets or statuses on Facebook or people to like certain stuff to make you happy. I mean, that is very superficial, and it will pass. And in time, you realize that this isn't going to make you happier. I ended up making a website, and it was like a blog on a sort of kids game, but it got pretty famous, and it got a lot of followers on Twitter. And so I did have this Twitter following, but over time I realized, what is this? It's just people liking or retweeting your ridiculous, sort of boring tweets, and it doesn't really change stuff. It doesn't really make you happier. I remember I would go to these lectures in college. Lectures are basically classes. You go to class, you sit in with maybe hundreds of other students, and you watch the teacher teach next to a chalkboard. I go to these lectures, and I'd be sitting alone, and I see pockets of students in groups, and they'd be socializing. And rather than thinking what I should have thought, which would be, I'm gonna man up and socialize with people and approach, and I should have been willing to accept rejection and accept the fact that not everyone is going to like me. But what I did was, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stay in my comfort zone and sit alone. And I would daydream about how great it would be to be famous on YouTube, because then people would recognize me, and then they would approach me, and then girls would see that, and then they'd be interested, and they'd be like, why is this guy getting asked for his autograph? Why is this guy getting asked to have his photo taken? And I daydream this stuff, and I think, it'd be awesome for this to happen, and then the girl would be interested and want to approach me too, and they'd approach me and talk to me, and it'd be great. But that kind of thing, first off, it's looking back, it's like so ridiculous. Like, now I know that even if that were to happen, I mean, girls are very, very shy people. Who's to say that they would approach you even if you were that famous? Unless you were like super, super famous, then they would approach you. But other than that, I mean, YouTube famous, doubt they would even approach you then. And then if you were super famous, they would not treat you like that anymore. They would go to the other side of the spectrum and treat you crazy. They'd be like crazy fanatics. They wouldn't leave you alone. They wouldn't treat you as a human being or equal. They'd treat you as some sort of pop idol or something and bow down to you. And no one wants that either. And so you'll never get a sort of normal sort of approach. And I realized that the best thing is just how you are now. No one knows you for anything other than how you present yourself. You're not famous at all, and that way you yourself can man up and approach them normally. And so, yeah, I have one more year of college, which is starting in about, I would say, 3 weeks. And so I'm probably not going to go in it like a freaking superstar. who has like no approach anxiety and just super awesome. But my goal is to take baby steps and improve and realize that you don't need any of this, and it's mostly just another excuse or another crutch to hold to stay in your comfort zone. And what that usually leads to is feeling lonely and depressed if you're just constantly not socializing and daydreaming. And so, moral of the story, you don't need Vine, you don't need Twitter, you don't need stuff like that. And quite honestly, if you're in the same predicament, you have to realize that the people who do have those types of mass followers on Twitter are either famous or have some sort of well-known following, or they're followed by a lot of spam bots, or they are girls and they're just either very good looking or have a good social circle. And then you get those occasional guys who have social circles and have followings. And honestly, I mean, it just leads to drama and unnecessary stuff. Right now, my view of a healthy person is someone who does not really spend all their time making posts on Twitter or Facebook or Vine. My role model would not be doing that during his free time. Maybe not even when he's sitting there waiting for the doctor or dentist. That just wouldn't be right. And so right now I'm pretty happy with where I stand. And sure, it'd be great to get a lot of subscribers, but not in any way for fame. Just to show that, I've been working on something and improving to a point where I'm building some sort of audience, and just to have a sort of sense of achievement for nothing other than myself. And honestly, I really think that fame is overrated and in a lot of ways more a sort of hindrance than any sort of help. And I'd really rather not be recognized at all, on any day. I used to think it'd be the most awesome thing, and it would attract, a great social circle, and then good-looking girls would like me and stuff like that. But first off, that would never happen in real life anyways, even if I was famous. And two, it would attract the wrong sorts of people. You really want people who just like you for you, not yes men who are attracted to superficial things that might leave you one day instantaneously, and then they will leave you too. So yeah, you are good enough just how you are right now, with your glasses, if you have glasses, with your nerdy sort of personality, and yeah, just put yourself out there. Expect that occasionally, sometimes more than occasionally, you might get rejected, and that's fine. Some people just won't be friends with you. But yeah, don't just dwell in the past. Don't just sit in your comfort zone and wish that, I don't know, things will happen for you. That's all I have to say. And yeah, to think that this originally was going to be some sort of like rant / speech that was going to be fun on just how great I thought YouTube fame was in the past, into some sort of more serious moral thing. Again, I don't know what it is, but if you liked, hit the like button. And as always, rate, comment. I do read all of them and I reply most of the time. And subscribe if you're not for more new content. I'll see you guys later. Peace.